Welcome to A Salt and Buttery with Intent to Satisfy. Today we're going to do something really tasty with carrots. I know carrots usually get a sad rap because how many things can you do with vegetables? Okay, carrots are already sweet, so hey, that's not a problem. And never mind that's just something else cooking. So this is something, it comes across as if you took a lot of time to do it, but it does not take that much time to do. Okay, you can have it done in about 20 minutes, which is about how long it would take to cook carrots anyway. Now, I like to do this with a pound of baby carrots. You can use sliced up carrots if you prefer, but if you do, make sure that you cut all the skin off. Okay, use peeler, whatever you like to do, and cut it into smallish sections. Okay, but like I said, I like to do this with baby carrots. Now, I've already added the chicken broth and salt and pepper to taste. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this simmering at almost a boil, because what I want to do is I want to boil off the moisture, but it also cooks the carrots. Okay, so this is going to take maybe 15 minutes. Okay, I accidentally lied earlier. Maybe this will take a half hour to make. Well, I always give myself some extra time on any new recipe because I haven't done it before. And since this will be new for you, it'll probably take about the half hour mark. But that's not too bad, honestly. Especially if you have something else cooking in the oven and this is going. So I have the heat turned on, this is going, and we're gonna cover this and let it cook off all that moisture, which intensifies the flavor of the chicken broth and cooks the carrots at the same time. So while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and prep a couple other things, and then we'll come back when it's time to do the next step, okay? Thanks. Okay, now that the carrots are about halfway done, what I usually do is I pull off the lid, okay? Because I need to be able to monitor. So let's take a look at these. And see, we still have quite a bit of broth in there. Okay, so we're going to keep the temperature up high with the lid off to let it evaporate a little bit better, because we want the intensity of the cooked down broth, but we don't want the broth itself. We want it to cook out. Okay, now we're going to finish up the carrots. Here we are. Now we're sprinkling some sugar over them. We add the sugar and we start stirring, because what we want this sugar to do is we want it to caramelize on the carrots, because the carrots have enough moisture in them that we don't have to add any extra butter or anything like that. If you want to add butter after this is done, that is fine. Go ahead and do that. Butter, extra salt, extra pepper, whatever. This does tend to come out a little bit sweet, but that's okay. So we have here our carrots, and what we want to do, like I said, we want the sugar to start caramelizing. But it has to work off the extra moisture that's in there. Now, once we start getting a little tiny bit of browning going on here, then we're going to add the final ingredient, which is some sherry or Marsala. Now, I recommend not using a cooking sherry or cooking wine for this, because that tends to be really heavy in salt, and it's also a bit sour, and we don't want sour for this. Only use the cooking if for some reason you have to. Now, here we go, the 1 1/4 cup of sherry. And we let this cook and boil and simmer away, and we can smell it. But it's going to cook off practically all of the alcohol. I don't think it'll leave any alcohol, okay? So you'll just get the flavor, but not the actual alcohol. Now, I've been waiting a while to actually do this recipe. I promised a friend a while back I would, so now I'm finally getting to it. So, because she loves carrots, but her kids aren't that big on the whole carrots because it's a vegetable thing. But I'm hoping that her kids will like this better. And like I said, after it's done, you can add butter, you can add salt, pepper, whatever you want to this. It's like many other cooking, like many other recipes, it's all a matter of taste. Now, you want to keep stirring this until the sherry basically evaporates out. It shouldn't take long to do. And I'm going to turn up the heat to make it speed up just a little bit for me. As you can see, we still have a pretty good amount of liquid to get rid of here. So, we're working. But we want to get rid of the extra liquid. We want to get rid of all the alcohol, so we're boiling this puppy. Now, alcohol does boil at a lower temperature than water. So that's one good thing. So it makes it a little easier to evaporate off. Yes, we're getting this. And the reason why we want to keep stirring is because we are at a higher temperature and we don't want to risk burning. So we keep stirring until practically all of the liquid is gone. And then these carrots are done. Ready to serve as a side dish for anything you want, or as a treat if you just want the carrots. Yeah, almost done. And I'd say that is close enough to done. If you want to take it a little further, you can, but these carrots are pretty much done. So, I'm going to cover this up because I'm not ready to eat them yet. And they will continue cooking a bit this way, okay, because the pot's hot and everything else. So, that's not a problem. Anyway, so that's some really good carrots. It seems a little bit more complicated than it is. So that's why I walked you through this. Go ahead, give it a try. One thing that you could do if you wanted to is you could add a little bit of spiciness to it with a little bit of cayenne or something like that so that you get a sweet and spicy with the carrots. But go ahead and experiment, have some fun with this, and let me know what you think. This was A Salt and Buttery with intent to satisfy.